Hello, guys. Arsenal reportedly broke their own salary structure trying to sign Vinicius Jr., and Real Madrid had to make an enormous financial effort to keep him. It's time to dive into the latest football news. Former Brazil international Felipe Melo claims Neymar is set to move to Inter Miami once his Santos contract expires in December. If the move happens, the famous MSN trio of Messi, Suarez, and Neymar would be reunited more than 9 years after he left Barcelona for PSG. Friends, once again, let's aim for 1,000 likes on today's video. Your support helps us create even more incredible content. The Spanish national team shared videos filmed from the bench during the final minutes of the World Cup final. Everyone was under extreme stress. Fabian Ruiz was reportedly on the verge of fainting, before ultimate joy. Paul Pogba has been injured again during AS Monaco training. The Frenchman reportedly cried out in pain before collapsing to the ground and had to be carried off the pitch by 2 members of staff. Barcelona have confirmed their support for Rooney Bardghji following a cruciate ligament injury. The club posted a message of solidarity, saying they are with him every step of the way. Bukayo Saka has returned to training with Arsenal ahead of their upcoming midweek fixture. Good news for the Gunners as they build up to the new season. Ousmane Diomande has officially signed for Real Madrid, fulfilling what he described as a lifelong dream. "I used to watch these players on TV," he said, "and today we share a locker room." Nottingham Forest have officially signed Ivorian defender Ousmane Diomande from Sporting for approximately $43 million. The 22-year-old central defender joins the Premier League side in a significant summer move. Juventus have completed the signing of 18-year-old Bosnian talent Kerim Alajbegovic for approximately $36 million. Coach Spalletti confirmed Douglas Luiz will also likely stay after impressing in preseason. The UEFA Super Cup takes place this Wednesday in Salzburg, with PSG facing Aston Villa. 7,000 Parisian supporters have made the trip, with all allocated tickets sold. Somali referee Omar Artan, who was denied entry to officiate at the World Cup in the US, will take charge of the match. Inter Milan are in talks to sign Djed Spence, with a deal in the region of $32 to $38 million currently under discussion. Randall Kolo Muani says it is an honor that Zinedine Zidane has been appointed France coach, but insists the work of Didier Deschamps must not be forgotten. "He was the one who trusted me for the first time," Kolo Muani said, before adding that for now, his focus is entirely on Juventus. Manchester United are preparing to open talks over a roughly $38 million transfer for Club Brugge left-back Joaquin Seys after seeing advances for 2 other targets, including Lewis Hall, knocked back. Lamine Yamal, who was vacationing in Colombia before returning to Barcelona for preseason, sent a message of encouragement to the country after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck on Monday. The quake caused significant damage in cities including Cali, Pereira, and Manizales. Cristiano Ronaldo played 9 Champions League seasons for Real Madrid and was the competition's top scorer in 6 of them, a remarkable record that underlines his dominance in Europe's elite club competition. A Turkish journalist named Can Terzi was reportedly detained by police after claiming Jamal Musiala was going to sign for Galatasaray. Local authorities allegedly deemed the transfer claim to be the dissemination of misleading information to the public. Atalanta have reached a verbal agreement to sign Thomas Kristensen from Udinese on a loan with an obligation to buy. The fee is $24 million plus up to $5 million in add-ons, with the player having already accepted the move. Sheffield United have agreed a deal with Manchester City to bring Calvin Phillips back to the club on a straight loan. Newcastle United are showing interest in Borussia Dortmund's chief scout Sebastian Krug, with Tottenham also looking. Krug played a key role in bringing both Erling Haaland and Jude Bellingham to Dortmund. Napoli are waiting for Chelsea to give the all-clear for a loan deal for defender Benoit Badiashile. The Italian club have also received a green light to sign young talent Fava Suli. After Parma agreed to sell Japanese goalkeeper Zion Suzuki to PSG for approximately $38 million including bonuses, Suzuki is expected to head straight to Juventus on loan. Iliman Ndiaye has turned down a huge offer from Al Hilal in order to remain in the Premier League. His decision is driven by his sporting ambition to continue developing at Everton, with the prospect of a major transfer in future windows. Jeremy Doku has responded with remarkable class after journalist France Pierrin was fired for criticizing him for leaving the Belgian World Cup camp to be present for his child's birth. "I saw everyone attacking her, and I don't want to attack her," Doku said. "She was fired, and I would never wish that on anyone." UEFA is launching a new platform called Clearline to make VAR more consistent and transparent. The guide is designed not only for referees, but also for players, coaches, clubs, fans, and journalists, using over 100 video examples. New details have emerged about just how close Arsenal came to pulling off one of the most seismic transfers in football history. According to multiple reports, Arsenal were willing to break their own internal salary structure to sign Vinicius Jr. this summer. Personal terms would not have been an issue. The player's figures had convinced his entourage that Arsenal's interest was genuine and serious. Arsenal's key players reportedly spoke directly to Vinicius, telling him he would be the absolute center of the club's project. That is a remarkable level of commitment for a club that has historically maintained strict wage discipline, and it signals just how determined Mikel Arteta's side were to land the Brazilian. In the end, Real Madrid made what sources describe as an immense financial effort to keep Vinicius. His deep attachment to the club ultimately proved decisive. His entourage reached out to Arsenal afterward to personally thank them for the way they handled the entire process, a sign of the respect the player had for the approach. What this story tells us is that Arsenal are operating at a level where they can genuinely threaten to pry away one of the world's best players from the Bernabeu. Whether they revisit this pursuit in a future window remains to be seen. But the fact that Real Madrid had to dig deep financially to hold on to Vinicius is a story in itself. One of the most talked about potential moves of the coming months is taking shape in South America. Former Brazil international Felipe Melo has claimed that Neymar is set to move to Inter Miami once his Santos contract expires in December. If the transfer happens, it would reunite the legendary MSN trio, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, more than 9 years after Neymar left Barcelona for PSG. The story carries enormous emotional weight for football fans. The original MSN partnership at Barcelona was one of the most devastating attacking combinations the game has ever seen. Messi and Suarez are already at Inter Miami, and the idea of Neymar completing the reunion in Major League Soccer is the kind of narrative that transcends the sport. It is worth noting that this claim comes from Felipe Melo, a former Brazil international with connections to the Brazilian football world, rather than a transfer insider. The reliability here is moderate, and Santos would need to confirm the contract situation. But the timing aligns. Neymar's deal at Santos is reported to expire in December, which would make him a free agent heading into January. If this move does happen, Inter Miami would instantly become one of the most watched clubs on the planet. For MLS, it would be an extraordinary marketing moment. For football, it would be a farewell tour for three of the greatest players of their generation, together one final time. Paul Pogba's comeback story has taken another painful turn. The French midfielder reportedly suffered a fresh injury during AS Monaco training on Tuesday morning, crying out in pain before collapsing to the ground. He had to be carried off the pitch by two members of staff. A distressing scene that will raise serious questions about his physical condition. Pogba's career has been defined by injury setbacks for several years now. After his well-documented doping ban, he returned to professional football with Monaco in what was supposed to be a fresh chapter. The fact that he has now suffered another training ground injury so early in the preseason is a significant blow to those hopes. The source for this report is Football Tweet, which carries a lower reliability rating. The full medical details have not been confirmed by Monaco officially, but the broad picture of Pogba's injury struggles is consistent with everything we have seen from him in recent years. At 33, the window for Pogba to recapture anything close to his peak form is narrowing fast. Monaco and his medical staff will now need to assess the extent of this latest setback before any timeline for his return can be established. For a player who was once considered one of the best midfielders in the world, it is a difficult situation to watch unfold. The 2026 UEFA Super Cup is upon us. Champions League winners Paris Saint-Germain take on Europa League champions Aston Villa this Wednesday in Salzburg, with kickoff at 9 p.m. local time. PSG have sold every ticket allocated to them by UEFA, with 7,000 Parisian supporters making the trip to Austria. There is an intriguing subplot surrounding the referee. Somali official Omar Artan, who was denied entry to the United States to officiate at the World Cup, has been appointed by UEFA to take charge of the Super Cup. L'Équipe described the appointment as another snub from UEFA to FIFA, a pointed political statement in the ongoing tension between the two governing bodies. On the pitch, PSG arrive as Champions League holders and heavy favorites. Aston Villa, meanwhile, have earned their place here by winning the Europa League and will be determined to make the occasion count. PSG were reportedly unhappy with the dressing room facilities at Red Bull Arena and were given an additional space after complaining. A minor detail, but one that suggests the club is approaching this match with full focus. This is the first major competitive fixture of the European season, and it sets the tone for what promises to be a fascinating campaign. Villa fans will be hoping their side can pull off a genuine upset against one of the continent's dominant forces. Manchester United are reportedly planning to accept an offer for Joshua Zirkzee, with a move to a Premier League rival now described as a possibility. The Dutch striker arrived at Old Trafford with significant expectations but has struggled to establish himself as a reliable starter under the club's new management. This comes alongside a separate report from Mirror Football suggesting United are ready to trigger a release clause and must act quickly after a $25 million agreement elsewhere in their squad. The club has already added 6 new players to their squad this summer, but the transfer activity shows no sign of slowing down. On the incoming side, United are also preparing to open talks for Club Brugge left-back Joaquin Saiz for around $38 million, after being rejected in their pursuit of Lewis Hall and at least one other target. The picture that emerges is of a club in significant transition, moving players on while simultaneously trying to plug gaps in multiple positions. For Zirkzee specifically, a move within the Premier League would be a fascinating development. The 23-year-old has the technical quality to succeed at the highest level. The question is whether a change of environment is what he needs to unlock his potential. United will want to recoup a meaningful fee rather than see his value erode further. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more exciting football news. Stay tuned for our next video. Until then, take care and see you soon.